Alrighty, guys. Episode 7 or 8, I'm unsure. Season 2 is what we're calling it, of the new podcast, Insight. We've dropped the on-site. And today we've got Adam from AH Fencing. Adam was on. He was at the old setup about a year ago, and we've just been reminiscing a little bit about what's been happening between then, because, you know, he wasn't completely new back then, but from then till now, it's been a massive change. So,
yeah,
Adam, fucking welcome, dude.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah. So, talk to us a little bit about, you know, if there's, because we've got a few new listeners now that we used to have, but just tell us a little bit about what you do. And then, dude, I'm not going to rewrite everything that we spoke about last time. If you want to listen to it, go back. And then, we'll go from there.
Yeah, I'm Director of AH Fencing. We supply and install security fencing and gates for commercial builders and developers across Brisbane, Melbourne, and now Sydney. We just opened our Sydney branch. So been around 8 years and made every mistake in the book, which we spoke about on the last podcast we did. So go check that out.
Yeah.
But, you know, talking multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt with the ATO and credit cards and high interest loans and all sorts of stuff. So we've been through it all. And, you know, the silver lining of that is it meant we were forced to learn how to run a business because we got ourselves into such a shit spot. The only way out was to run a really fucking good business. And now we've learned how to do that. And so, yeah, these days I'm super active on social media as well. And I'm trying to promote to other people and other tradies how to run a good trades business, because I don't want people to go through the same thing that we went through. And hopefully through some of the stuff I'm posting, I can prevent that.
And is that your main, because a year ago you didn't have as much what you got now. And I think you found your rhythm, and, you know, obviously there was a little bit of traction there, and then it obviously just sort of took off after that. So, you know, obviously there's the aspect of trying to help, like, which we do as well. You're trying to give value back to the people in and around you, whether it's fellow business owners or whoever it might be. But what were the other main reasons for you wanting to get your face out there? Because obviously you got a business partner, Matt. Why you, not him?
Yeah.
How did that conversation go? Like, was it a conversation? How does that work? Because Matt, I don't think he gets in front of the camera, does he? Like,
nah. He's been in like 3 videos. 3 out of 1,000 videos he's appeared in.
I've seen.
I mean, he's not that type of person. You know, he's pretty introverted and doesn't like the camera. So it's by choice that he's not on the camera. And I'm by nature a pretty extroverted person. And yeah, there's plenty of reasons why we created our social medias in the first place. A lot of it was just to try and attract people to the business, whether that be, you know, clients or suppliers or staff. And then I started posting more about our story and some of the struggles we'd been through. And I was getting lots and lots of questions in my DMs asking, you know, how do we get through it and blah, blah, blah. And that's what prompted me to go, wow, there's a lot of other people.
And I think that was the big shift, because I seen it from the outside looking in. I think I even sent a message about it. And it was even, you know, you do the best photos of you guys working on site, and you promote the best work, and you think it's so sick. But then all of a sudden, I think you started just to tell, I think there was a couple of videos where you just spoke about a story that had happened within the business, and then bang. It just sort of took off. And then that was like, you know, I think that's when you sort of found your groove, and you were like, fuck, like, all right, this is probably what everyone wants, not, you know, you obviously want to drop your business stuff that looks really great every now and again, but for the vast majority of it, it's just context and trying to just be real. That's really the biggest thing.
Yeah, 100%. I think there's like obviously always a space on social media for real content, people actually being vulnerable and talking about the lows as well as the highs. And yeah, you're right. When I started posting about some of the lows, a lot of people can relate to that. There's a lot of people going through a lot of lows. And then in some ways, you know, because we've made it out of those trenches now, like it gives me a bit of authority in the space. It's like, okay, this guy was in like the lowest of lows in business and now they're doing amazing. So I'm going to listen to what he has to say because he must know at least something. And, you know, I think I've learned a lot of lessons over the years. And so that's all I'm trying to do now is just share like all the little micro learnings that we had and also like try and distill it down. So, you know, there's like 1,000 things that I've learned over the last 8 years and they weren't all useful. So like if I can distill that down to like 20 core learnings and teachings that people can take away, then like that's going to be so much easier for people than having to spend 8 years learning like the way I did.
I think it's similar. Like I get a lot of like for us, we get a lot of I get a lot of young guys message me that might just have, 2-3 guys or whatever it is. And they're, the similar I literally got a DM yesterday from a guy. He actually wasn't young at all. He's actually an older guy, but he was just trying to move on a real shit staff member. And he's seen a video that I had up and he was just asking hey, if this guy is this person, what do I do? I don't want to be taking a Fair Work. And we just sort of went backwards and forwards about, and the conclusion was, I just said to him, sometimes the hit that you take from Fair Work is actually not too bad. You leave them internally with your staff that you've got. There'll be a cancer.
Exactly.
They'll make fuck ups. Sometimes taking that hit is better. And it sort of was the realization. And as I said, it could be because it's come from someone else, it sort of clicks. But I think he sort of just had to get himself to that same sort of answer. And that's usually what I find most of the time.
Yeah.
Is it's just they want that reassurance that it's okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, a lot of guys that even listen to this, they're usually, I think I mentioned that in the first one, they're usually trying to decide on whether they're getting in the trade. But what I found and what we found, hence why we changed the name, is it's actually our demographic now is changing. It's becoming more guys that are actually owning businesses now in the trade space, for us anyway. And, I always try to give them, I'm no fucking expert. I make fuck ups on the daily. Literally only yesterday there was a fuck up that cost us thousands of dollars, but that shit just happens all the time. But I always
just try to put yourself out there at the end of the day.
Yeah, and that's it. And I want to talk to you about that, putting yourself out there, because for me, I've been on a massive journey with socials. It's been ages. And it's not all glitz and glam. Sometimes it does take a fucking hit. It is. It's fucking some of the shit that you get, man.
Yeah,
it's
dude, I know.
I've
seen some of your comments
where Nick fucking puts it there. I was fuck.
I get fired up too, man.
Yeah.
Seeing your hate comments, I want to fire back at them, but it's I know what it's like when I get hate comments too.
Yeah, and it's hard. It's easy to sit there and say, I don't read them. And I've done that before. I've literally been on a podcast before where they've said, what do you do with the thing? I said, well, what's a typical saying? Or I don't. I just don't. Just don't get involved. It's the reality is you do. No matter who you are, human nature, you'll naturally get involved. And that's even if I try my best not to get involved, family members will then send me shit and say, oh, did you see this?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I'm oh, show me. And then I have a look and then I start fucking getting into it. And it's I've never been in a real dark place, trying to get car arrest or anything. But for you, what's the, have you managed that? Fuck, it's not, have you contemplated to continue? Have you spoken to your missus about it? Has she mentioned it? Because that's another thing too. Tamara, sometimes she's not 100% on board either with some of the shit.
Yeah. I agree. It's the same. And it's funny you say my wife, she's commented stuff before too, and people have commented things about her. And then same with the other boys at work, because, we post a lot with them in it. They start getting hate comments, which I never really thought about, because they didn't sign up to be social media stars, but they feature in things and then people call them out for shit and they get upset. So they've all turned their notifications off. So sometimes it's hard to believe how many haters there are out there, and they're all the fucking same. They've got no followers. They've got a fake profile picture, and it used to really upset me at the start. And for sure, I still get a little rolled up sometimes. But I feel the more hate comments I get now, the more it's diluted. I'm oh, it's just another fucking hater. Who cares? Sometimes I find I genuinely am this has to be a bot. There's no way this could be a real person. I've told a story before where this is about two haters. So we used to employ a guy, and on a Saturday night, he would get drunk and get into the work group chat and start picking fights with the other boys. And it had never occurred to me that people might do that. People legitimately, there's alcoholics out there that will just get drunk and pick fights on the internet. And so we had a guy like that. We obviously let him go.
Internally.
Yeah, internally.
Not doing it on social, just doing it amongst the team.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then there's another guy who commented about 10 posts in a row of mine, leaving hate comments. And I knew who he was. I used to work with him 15 years ago.
Okay.
And anyway, I was in Melbourne just a few weeks ago, and I was walking around, and in the background I heard, hey, Adam Hall. And I looked down this alleyway, and there's this guy, now homeless, but he's got a mobile phone, and he's going, hey, mate, how are you? And he's the guy that's been leaving hate comments. So it had never occurred to me that there's homeless people and crackheads out there with mobile phones too.
But they never, I think a big realization for me was that I have never had a guy that hates our shit ever come up to me in public.
No.
Like never.
No.
Literally never. They've probably fucking seen me.
Yeah.
But that's a different story. They've never actually physically said anything.
Yeah.
Like, and I think
do something, bruh.
Yeah. Well, like, hey, if anyone's listening, like, fuck, you know. But funny enough, when I read them, I go through them and like, you're right. If the ones that are like spam accounts, I'm like, yeah, nah. Like if you're too much of a pussy to even put your fucking face to it, then I don't even care. But then on the flip side, there's guys that aren't a pussy that stand behind their word. And I'm like, I half respect that. Like, I'm like, okay, like fair enough. Like you're not trying to hide who you are. That's fair. But yeah, still have never had any.
It's part of it as well, you know, like you're putting yourself out there. Some people are going to agree. Some people are going to disagree. And like, that's what makes for good social media and helps grow your following. You know, if you're not polarizing, if you're not standing for one thing or another, then you're standing for nothing and no one's going to like your content.
That's it.
You know, like the same amount of haters you have, you'll have people agreeing with you as well. It just seems like the haters are more vocal for whatever reason.
In the trade space, definitely.
Yeah.
Like tradies, for you guys that are fucking listening, it's like tradies will fucking just go hard in the comments. Like they don't care. It's like any other game. Like if you're a shit tradie or you look a certain way, they don't give a fuck. Like they're spraying you.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like it's like unlike any other, like fitness industry, maybe a little bit, but nah, in the tradie space, it's way worse. But anyway, so we'll continue on. So talk to us now a little bit about, I don't want to go back all that time because we sort of went back about your story and all that sort of stuff. So if you want to listen to that, go back to the other things. We're going to talk about sort of now. Where are you at now? What's your roles now? Like, what are you primarily doing now? Because obviously I spoke to you, I think a few months ago around you, like not going into you're trying not going into the office so much and you're trying to do that. And what's the reasoning behind that? Where are you guys at?
Yeah, so the big things with the business that we're doing, and we might have spoken about this last time, was, you know, we were planning to launch into Sydney and now we have officially launched into Sydney. So we've started our first projects down there now. So there's been a bit of work going into that. Not necessarily on my part, to be honest. Like a lot of the work went in early days and now it's just been in the system. You know, the boys are tendering projects, signing contracts, assigning project managers, and that's all just sort of humming. Another big thing we're doing is like bringing in manufacturing and importing in-house. So rather than using Australian wholesalers, we're going to be manufacturing and importing our own stock. So that's taken a fair bit of time as well. Matt and I have been going to China and planning out a lot on that.
And you placed your first order, I think. Did you?
What's that?
Did you place your first order?
Yeah, placed our first order. So it's here in maybe like a week now. So
okay, sweet.
Pretty exciting. Our second order's already placed now too. So sort of like just going all in because that's like how we do things. But that's like, this is like the tiptoe in. We're really looking to set Sydney up as the manufacturing HQ. You know, have fabrication done out of Sydney. So we want to go all the way with it. So like welding bays, laser cutters, powder coating booths, like absolutely everything, and control it completely in-house. Because
you went down to, sorry to interrupt, you went down to Melbourne and spoke to the guy, I think Melbourne, Sydney, Proline.
Yeah, Proline.
You talk about fucking integration.
Yeah, I know. They've got
like
all there.
Vertical. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like he's got the vertical play in that space.
Yeah, so that's his end goal as well, is to be completely vertically integrated. Like I think they still outsource powder coating in a few things, but they want to bring it all in-house. And yeah, I totally love that. Yeah. It was pretty cool to see that place.
Yeah. Like, you know, I've seen it from afar, you know what I mean? I haven't been in the details, but I can only imagine the amount that you got to do. And like, but with that, it gives you, you know, scale. It gives you fucking, you know, when he bids on projects and stuff, that capability that he shows is, you know,
100%.
Over and above, there's literally only one-on-one.
Well, the reason we started looking into it in the first place was as the business has grown, our wholesalers in Australia have struggled to keep up with that growth. And so therefore their service has dropped. And then that means our service has dropped to our clients. And we don't want that to happen. We want our service to keep getting better and better. And so it became like the biggest pain point in the business was like material delays, quality issues, things not being right on the orders, delivery trucks being late. All these things that were happening from our wholesalers, and we have no control over how they run their business. So that's what's prompted us to, you know, start our own thing. And, you know, to be fair, like they've got hundreds of customers. They can't cater their business just to ours. So I get it. But if we do it internally, we can make it suit our systems exactly. And we have full visibility on where everything is at all times. So it's, you know, yes, there's margin in it as well. Like we're now going to make more margin on the material, which is awesome. But the real reason we started it was like just to get more efficiency out of the installation side.
Because you guys have also got a bigger play at hand. And obviously if you're going to get to that goal of what you guys want to do, like obviously that's going to have to be part of it.
Yeah.
So, you know, but the capital that needs to inject, like I think that's a lot of, like looking at it from someone from the outside, like for me, I look at it, I'm like, okay, like that's like, it doesn't seem risky, but it's obviously the capital required to do it and how you guys are going to do
scary.
it. Like it's
for sure scary.
You got to fucking, you know, you got to put your money where your mouth is when you're doing it.
Yeah. And we've been talking to a lot of people who have been there and done it before. Like a lot of people who are further ahead on the journey than us, and maybe not necessarily in construction, but other businesses.
Yeah.
And just getting a lot of comfort in the fact that this is how business is done. You know, like you make big moves, like you use finance, you get in with the banks and you make shit happen. And like we know that we can back ourselves. We know that we know how to run a good business. And so although it's scary, like getting into millions of dollars of debt to set up manufacturing, like we know we're going to pull it off. Like first of all, we know we're already turning over 25 mil right now. So we can predict the exact volume the manufacturing is going to be doing. So like day one, as soon as we start manufacturing, they're going to have 15 mil of turnover. So like, it's not like, oh, where are we going to get the work from? We know where the work's coming from because we've already got it.
You've got the work, yeah.
So it is scary and like there's a lot of capital outlay there, but it's exciting as well. It's just a lot, you know, like it's a lot to be doing all at once. And like, I'm really grateful we've got a fucking amazing team. And we're looking to bring someone in on the manufacturing side at the moment to help lead that thing.
So you pretty much going to import China your bread and butter sort of stuff.
Yes.
And then customize your fab.
Yeah.
Until you get to the point that you can cost the bread and butter stuff. Well, yeah.
If we could, for sure.
You would.
Yeah, absolutely.
Australian made.
Yeah.
Like that sort of stuff.
And, you know, there's a lead time from China, like 8 to 12 weeks to get something imported. Yeah. So it's like, obviously, ideally, if we can, you know, manufacture it in Australia, the lead time's going to be way shorter and you don't have that shipping cost. So as much as we can manufacture here, we will. That makes sense. And there's a lot of custom stuff to what we do. So
gates?
Yes.
Is that what you primarily would do?
Primarily gates, yeah. But then there's all sorts of different panels we do. Like there's the bread and butter ones that, you know, you see around Mainfreight or schools or whatever, the spear top.
Yeah.
But we do a lot of custom metalwork stuff as well that gets thrown into our packages. So at the moment, that's all outsourced through other wholesalers.
That you could fucking bring in easy enough. Yeah.
And there's huge lead times on that. Like it's a bit of a bottleneck for us, you know, like waiting 8 weeks for something to get fabricated and powder coated that if we had the ability in-house, we could turn that around in a week or two. So
yeah. Well, Proline, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They fucking,
exactly.
They can, you know, and they do, I think he's doing nights and days now. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, dude, that's the goal as well.
Exactly. Yeah. So, all right, sweet. Well, yeah, fuck, dude, there's so much going on. Like, I don't even know where to start. But talk to me about Melbourne, right? Because obviously that was a bit of a tricky start to the year for you guys down there.
Yeah.
Are you over that hump now?
Yeah.
Why do you think it was tricky? Like, obviously you guys have reviewed it. Like, you and Matt would have looked at it and gone, all right, well, here's the fault. Like, what was it, you know, if someone else was going down there to start something, what's the fucking thing that you guys have learned now from doing that?
Yeah, it was definitely a weird period in Melbourne and the whole industry was slowed down. And the weird part about it for us was, you know, we've got a lot of data that we track and we weren't losing projects. We just weren't winning any. And so it makes it really hard to decide what you want to do because fair enough, if we're losing projects, we can find out why we're losing them and address that issue. But contracts just weren't being let. There was a bunch of projects that had just stalled. And so it was a very confusing situation for us because it was like, oh, look, we need work. It's not that we're losing jobs. So it's not like, oh, just drop your margin and win some work because they're just not letting the contracts. That's not the reason. So I would say like a learning from it, first of all, is, you know, it's the first time we've been through a lull that lasted that long. Like that lasted 4 months of slow work down there, which was really tough. And
because I think I remember talking to you about it, you were like, fucking, it's doing my head in a bit.
Yeah.
Like,
and the thing
big
is,
stress too, because you would have been at the same time, you would have been doing
all this other
the
stuff.
fucking manufacturing shit as well.
Yeah.
It requires money, but you're losing fucking money and
so we're moving forward in one way and losing money in another way. So it's really fucking, it was a scary start to the year, honestly. And it's like, we kind of know it's like, okay, we got the data there that this work's going to drop. And, you know, like, so the first month, low sales, like, it's all good. Like, we've had that before. Like, it'll bounce back the next month. Like, 2 months, it's like, okay, that's a bit weird. The third month, we're like, what the fuck is going on here? And how long is this going to last? And then the fourth month, we're starting to really freak out. And the thing is, right, it's like, okay, if we just knew at the start of the year you're going to have a 4 month lull, then we can plan for that. But we didn't know that because we've never been through it before. So, you know, the first month, the construction manager down there is like, hey man, like we don't have enough work for the boys, but we'll just keep paying them because like we've got a good set of guys here and we don't want to lose them. I'm like, yeah, of course, man. Like it's just a month. And then it's like, but then the second month rolls around and it's like, oh, well, how long could this possibly last? We'll keep paying the boys. And then the third month and it's like, well, fuck, we've made it this far. So we're burning cash and, we didn't go too far backwards, which is lucky because again, it's fortunate we've got multi-state because Queensland was floating the ship, which is really good. But we are over the hump now. I wouldn't say we've fully bounced back, but we're at a point where Melbourne can break even at least. So we're not going backwards.
Yeah.
And there's so much work in the pipeline. So we're expecting a really huge second part of the year. So what would I do differently in the future? I don't really know. I think we might react a little bit quicker. We've got monthly targets for sales and we usually wrap them up into a quarterly target because that's how our business works.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to take our monthly targets a little more serious now because, that first month we were it's all good. We'll bounce back in the second and third. And then even the second month, it's okay, I guess we're going to have a really big third month. But we should have reacted in that first month. So I think we're going to try to be a little more reactive.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to stop you right there. We are now halfway through this episode, and I want to make a special shout out to Ideal Group Australia. Without the employees and the company at Ideal, we would not be able to produce this or bring this podcast to you. Now, welcome back to the episode. But how did you mentally get through that? Because for me, we're going through a period right now, for us, where the big we're going through a big shift with the company with us. And I'm probably getting a little bit more exposed, with risk and stuff, the tolerance with it. And it's fucking, dude, it's nerve-wracking. It's exciting, you're nervous, but it's fuck, your mental, the mental approach. Did you just lean on people that have been through it? Is Matt really good about that? How did you guys, do you bat off each other? Is it more you than him or fucking?
I'm lucky to have Matt because it's always one of us that's freaking out. It's never been two of us, which is good. So there's always one other person to talk us off the ledge. And we've got Rob as well, who's our national sales manager. And he's an equal to Matt and I in reality. So between the three of us, we can all talk it through.
Yeah.
And I've learned a lot of good ways to deal with stress over the years. And I was for sure having to battle a lot of internal thoughts. There was nothing more that I wanted to do than to jump back on the sales team and try and close jobs because I'm
just get down there and fucking start.
I want to take control of the situation, because I feel I need control of my business, and and that wasn't going to help anyone.
You're just dumping money, you're just throwing it out the window. Did you have the urge just to say fucking pick up whatever you can, 100%. Down there, anything if it's even if it's no margin, Did you do that or did you not, or how the fuck did you? Because a lot of times, you're not always taking something that's 30% margin. A lot of the times you might, if you got lulls in your pipeline, you might just have to fill it.
100%. And this is a huge part of leadership, right? We've got Rob, he's our national sales manager. This is his responsibility in the business. If I come in and undercut Rob's authority and tell Rob what to do, then I take away all his accountability and his control over that department. And, he's an amazing leader. And if I start undercutting his leadership in the business, it'll make him look bad to his sales team and he'll feel less motivated as well. So as much as I wanted to come in and make those calls, I knew the right move from a leadership point of view was just to talk to Rob about what's his strategy, what's his plan, give my point of view on it to him. But ultimately, Rob made all the final calls on all of that. And, and he's a really intelligent guy. So he did give the directive hey, any projects that are looking to start in the next couple of months, we can lower our margin on those ones. But if the project's not starting till Christmas, there's no point in dropping our margin now because then we're just going to have a bunch of work in our busy period at low margin. So he was really good about it, very strategic. And I'm glad that he didn't succumb to the pressure and the stresses because I'd be lying if I said I didn't put a bit of pressure on him. And I was trying to do my best not to. I certainly wasn't coming down hard on him, but I think he could see that I was.
But you're having the tough talks, you're saying, dude, we're losing money. We need to what is your strategy here?
Yeah. Yeah, and I trust him. That's the reason he's in that role, and he's always done right by us, and he's absolutely transformed the sales side of our business. And so I know he knows more about that space than I do. So I have to trust his guidance. You know, I got us to a certain point in the business for a sales point of view, and he's taken us to where it is now. So he knows more than I am, and more than I do, and I've got to trust him on that. And that was hard internally to not jump in and undercut him. And it's not because I don't trust him, it's just because I was fearful and I was stressed myself. And that's the old version of me wanting to do that, you know, and I've learned that that's not the right thing to do. And I'm really grateful that I didn't do that. And it's the same with anyone in the business, you know, if there's shit going on site, we were talking about a project that went badly the other day and we got a notice from a builder and, you know, of course I want to jump back in and solve this problem for them, but that's not helping anyone else in the business. That's just, you know, soothing my own ego. And, by not doing that, those guys went through their own learning process and now have come out the other side better for it. And so I've just learned what good leadership looks like. And that doesn't mean it comes naturally to me. It's definitely like a struggle every day, especially when times get tough. But I'm glad that I've got some good people on my side. I've got some good mentors in the space, and I do lean on them in those tough times.
Really good conversation I had with, I think it was Jimmy. I think you went down and spoke to Jimmy from Starbar.
Yeah.
I had a really good conversation with him around that, like same sort of like the mindset approach with it. Because he runs a fucking fairly big company down there too. He's got like a quarry in Adelaide and fucking all this other shit going on. And I remember saying to him, like, with the leadership aspect, with people in those positions that are making you call it what it is, financial decisions against your business that could ultimately sink your fucking business too. How did he handle it? And how did he get through it? And what did he say? Like, he just sort of said to me, like, you got to be okay to lose money. Like, and the people that don't do it are the ones that hold the fucking hose and like, I'm not going to let go of it because I don't want to lose any more. I don't want to lose money. They're the ones that obviously in 10 years time don't actually progress to the business that they want. Where he was, like he sort of said to me, he's like, I just fucking let it go. Like, if I got a person that is in that position, I just let them manage that. And I manage them. And he said, obviously, there was parts where he would step in, but for the vast majority of it, people need to learn on your own bank account. Like, you need to pay for them to fucking take that lesson.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it'll
100%.
never work.
And, like in the example of Rob, like, he's already been there and done that. He's run big sales divisions at other companies before. So, like, this is not the first time he's seen something like this. So he's way less panicked than I am. And that's the amazing thing about. And that's, I think, most business owners' goal is to get people into the business that are better at that job than what you would be. And so it was the same, like even Matt, Matt's head of finance, like he's the co-director, of course, but he's also head of finance in the business. So like, was there cash flow pressures during that time? Yeah, there was. And I'm just trusting what Matt's call is making on those things. Despite the fact I'm a director, it's like, again, I don't want to undercut Matt's leadership in that space. And, whatever call Matt's making from a cash flow point of view, which bills we are and aren't paying, and if we're getting funding or whatever it might be, then like, that's Matt's call, and I'm going to trust him on that. In the same way that I'm the national construction manager, and they trust the calls that I'm making on the construction side of the business, and I wouldn't appreciate them coming in and undercutting my calls either. So it's good, like, and
and your leadership's obviously evolved.
Yeah, so much. I was like not massive, this leader at all.
You know what I mean? Like, to even go through that part in Melbourne, would the same Adam fucking 7 years ago do the same thing? You know what I mean? Like, would he be okay with someone coming in and saying, it's all good, Adam? You're going to lose 20 grand a week.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it though, because in 4 months' time, I'll break even for you.
Yeah.
Like, fuck no. Like, that old Adam would be like, yeah, no chance, dude.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, and I think, that's
like massive. The business will go to the levels that you're at personally. And so, like, I've got to level up personally if I want the business to level up. And I think I have leveled up, and like that was like the real test. It's like, okay, have you really leveled up? Like, you really going to lean into all this stuff that you've been learning over the last few years? Now that times are tough for a couple of months, like, let's see what you're made of. And like, I feel like I handled it well. Definitely, like, still, like I said, I freaked out, and like I tried to do most of it internally.
Like, you're freaking out internally. It's all good.
Yeah. And now that we've been through that, we went through a 4-month lull in estate, and I've been through that now. So the next time a lull comes, I know what it looks like. I know we've been through it before, and I know what's on the other side of it. So, it's just that thought in the back of your head, like, always like, what if we never come out of this lull? Like, what if that's it? Like, we're done.
Yeah, I know. Oh, dude, like I've even had that thing about, like, if particular builders don't pay, like if you're waiting on a massive, claim, like, fuck, it's hard not to go to that space. But yeah, you're right. You just got to not try to show it to your staff, and let them take the lead on it,
Well, and that was the other part of the leadership, right? Is like not showing the rest of the team that we're stressed, And Rob was great at that because, he said, he's like, there's nothing worse than a stressed salesperson because like the client will smell it from a mile away, and the salespeople will make deals they shouldn't make, and the client will feel like they're desperate and then all of a sudden not trust them. Like, as soon as you feel like someone's desperate for a sale, you don't trust a word that they say. And so Rob did a great job at shielding his team from, like, they were aware that sales were low, but they weren't aware of the other pressures in the business. And so, and he knew, he's like, if they get stressed, then sales will plummet even further. And so, we all did a very good job, I think, of like protecting the rest of the team from what was really going on. And it was, we were still, of course, sharing that, there's pressure and we need to make sales and it is what it is, but it wasn't like, oh, we're losing money. you know? It's like, because then that everyone's in panic stations and they're fearing for their jobs and whatever. And it was never that bad, you know? But like,
well, looking back, like when you always look back, it was never as bad as what you paint the picture out to be. But when you're in it, it's completely fucking different.
And that's like, you know, being in business as long as you and I have, we've been through a million battles and have a million scars. And so I was also like feeling comfort in that. It's like, man, I've been through a lot of situations before where I've felt more stress than this and we've been in way worse positions. And now it's just a distant memory. And I go, oh, I was a bit of a blip on the radar back then. And I know that that's what this will be too. And now it is, fortunately, which is really great. So hopefully, you know, I just keep leaning on those memories of like what once was and knowing.
And like some of the guys like I've been seeing that you've been talking to too, like some of these other boys that have run really good businesses and stuff too, like they're really good to get around. And obviously perspective's a massive thing. You know, the issues that I go through now, if I went through them fucking even 2 years ago, I'd probably be ripping my hair out. So like, but I'm also not exactly where I want to be. Like when I think about taking a risk now, I'm like, fuck, like, you know, fuck, it's such a big risk. But then I talk to another guy that's doing fucking $100 million a year. Yeah. And he's like, it's all good. He's like, he has cash flow problems, tens of millions per month.
Yeah.
But then he punches out the other side. Like, but then, as I said, it's easier said than done because when you're in it, it's completely fucking different, you know?
Yeah. And I spoke to a guy recently who said like the stress of running a $10 million business or a $100 million business or a $500 million business is all the same. There's just extra zeros on the end. So like the stress never changes. And so even though the stakes get higher, you can only feel so much stress, right? And at the end of the day, like usually the worst case scenario is bankruptcy. It doesn't matter what size you are. So
well, that's it.
His encouragement was like, do bigger deals because you're going to feel the stress either way. So think bigger. Which I think is a really cool way.
And it's like, place that second order from China. We're fucking going.
Literally.
Buying a factory down in Sydney. Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good to hear though. Because like for me, you know, I'm not at that stage, but like for us, we've got big ambitions, but it's fucking, I feel like I'm always at a limiter. Like I feel like I'm always limiting on, you know, I go through I spoke to someone yesterday about this. It's like for me, I go through life cycles of like 4-6 months period. You know, every like 4 to 6 months, I hit that same fucking limiter of like stress for me on like whether that's on a personal front with whatever we're doing personally, encompassed with the business. And then I'm like, fuck, all right, I need to let this sort of settle down and then I'll go again and reevaluate where we're going. Like
it's funny how stresses in one part of your life can leak into other parts of your life.
Yeah.
Because I felt that same thing where I felt personally stressed about something going on and then all of a sudden the decisions I'm making in the business are completely different. It's like that fear that's in my personal life is now leaking into the business for no real reason other than the fact that it's obviously all coming from me.
Well, it's like I read that book from Michael E. Gerber. He does that E-Myth fucking shit. And he pretty much says that exact same thing, right? The whole analogy of like separate yourself from the business, but like whether we like to admit it or not, business goes well, your life will go well, your business goes shit, your life will go shit. Like it's very hard to separate the two. Like if AH Fencing went bankrupt tomorrow, your personal life, you probably wouldn't get, you know, broken up, but like it would affect your personal life whether you like it or not.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I feel like for business owners, they get a lot of conflict with themselves because they're like, I have to be a certain thing at home and I have to be a certain thing at business, and let's not let the two, you know, affect each other, where it's like they're going to affect each other whether you fucking like it or not.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just about finding that balance. But talking about balance, because last time I spoke to you, you didn't have your second kid.
No, we don't yet.
You don't yet?
No, 8 weeks away.
Fucking soon.
I know.
Yeah, that is very soon.
Yeah. And we're like doing renos on the house and all sorts of shit. So it's like there's heaps going on. Like you prep for the baby to be here.
Yeah.
So like we bought a new house since we spoke last, but it's not a new house. It's an old house.
Yeah,
so like,
you still got to renovate it.
Needs work.
Yeah.
And it's like, the clock is on.
Yeah.
And like Kez, my wife, is going, I think this baby's going to be here early. Like feels ready. So like who knows, man.
Yeah. And how do you think, you know, that journey, business, finally having kids now, has that sharpened you? Has it been harder than what you thought? And there was always a question that someone used to say, like there was, you know, people asked on other podcasts as well about what's harder, you know what I mean? Being a fucking dad or being a business owner, like.
Yeah, man. Being a parent's not easy.
Yeah.
It's really fucking hard. But in some ways, like it depends, right? Like I feel blessed to have the business that we have because I can take time off when I need to, and it doesn't require me every day. And if I need to take Lottie to swimming class or something, then I do. And so, you know, yeah, it's all stressful. And like a lot of the leadership stuff that I've learned from business actually applies to parenthood as well, which is like really cool to think about it in that way. And so like our family's got values. We've got family values like you would in a business, like core values, right? And it's like that's our guiding set of principles that we live our life by. So being a parent is fucking hard. I'm sure anyone that's done it knows that. And like we've got one, we're about to have two. So like I don't know what that's like. I've heard it's not any easier.
Oh, it's just, you don't,
But it's the best thing ever, right?
Yeah. Oh, it is. Like, for me, I had my kids like fairly young. I think I was 23, 24, like when I first had Charlie. So like I built the business alongside being,
that's tough.
I was swinging a hammer. Like I was still doing 6 hour day, like 6 days a week. Fucking 12-hour days, like when Charlie was born. So like I had to fucking build this thing along that journey. So it was, it was fucking, it was hard.
I can't imagine trying to build a business from the ground up with young kids. Like I'm so lucky that we built the business to a really good point before I had kids, because like, fuck me, I have no idea, dude.
Yeah, it was a struggle. It was a struggle, bro. But like what I actually wouldn't change it, because I think it actually sharpened me a lot. Like it instilled like values in me that with pre-kids you wouldn't have had, you know, like getting into the gym and eating healthy. Like I fucking changed my whole approach with all that when Charlie came on the scene. So like, you know, if she didn't come on the scene, I probably wouldn't have had any fucking drive to do anything. Like I was earning semi-decent money swinging the fucking hammer. Like it was pretty good. You know, beers with the boys, pretty fucking chilled. Like, like weekends, it was sick. So there was real no drive to make a change. It wasn't until she came and I was like, dude, I can't do this forever. Like this is not a fucking forever thing. So I had to realign, and like there was fucking tough conversations. And then Georgie came only like 2 years after that. So that was a whole nother fucking kettle of fish. Like, you know, when the transition to two for me was the hardest, because it was like Tamara's now outnumbered. Like, and I can't just up and leave. I can't just go. Like, you know, I always felt like a sense of guilt if I was going somewhere or not going like to work, but like if I was going away or the boys were coming over or whatever, like, you know, and then the period between catching up with mates went from like once a month to every 3 months, where now it's like I catch up with them once a year, just because it's like life's so fucking busy, and I don't, you know, I'm trying to, you know, we're trying to try again for a third. I'm thankful that Tamara loves it. But like, fuck, dude, it's like the best thing for me. Like, I like it. You know what I mean? It's probably, I wouldn't say it slowed the business growth down, but dude, I'm exactly where it needs to be. You know what I mean? Like, whether you do 5 mil a year or 50 mil a year, you know, my life doesn't really change that drastically. Yeah. So
for sure.
You know,
and it probably forces you to think about things in a different way, you know, like building a business with no kids, like you can kind of be like a little less organized and a little more sloppy, because you can just put in as many hours as you need to and like do things in ways that probably aren't super efficient. But like having kids and, you know, you've got to be home, putting them to bed and whatever it is, like you'd have to think about business in a different way. And there'd be another level of pressure. So like, I feel for all the business owners out there that are building a business with young kids.
Yeah. And I've had a few guys reach out to me because they've listened to my story about it. And then like, you know, we had tragedy in 2021, and then there was like a bunch of other shit that happened between. They reached out to me and asked me about it. And I just say to them, because like a lot of guys get so much fucking stress. Like they believe, there's like a fucking sense of belief that once you have kids, you're fucked. You can never start a business ever again. Like you're cooked. Yeah. And I had a really long conversation with a guy. He's a supervisor for, I think it's Q-Build, some fucking thing. And yeah, he rang me. He's like literally a fucking site manager on a site in Brizzy. And he rang me on his smoko break talking to me about it because he's seen one of the videos. And yeah, he was like, dude, I've been doing this for like 8 years. I want to do my own thing. And I just don't know. I've got 2 kids and blah, blah, blah. And I just said, dude, like you can always go back to being a site manager. You do that next week. You know, if you're a decent site manager, like everyone knows at the moment in Brizzy, you'll get a job like within hours. Yeah. You apply, you'll fucking get one, whatever it is. And he actually took the jump, funny enough. He ended up fucking doing it. So he ended up starting his own gig, just doing like he's just doing bathrooms at the moment. He's already licensed. He's got his own licenses and that. And like, like he said to me, like, it's tough. I didn't sugarcoat it to him. It's going to be fucking shit. But like, you're either about it or you're not. And I think that's what, I think we spoke about in the last one around personality traits between you're either a business owner or you're not. Because if you're only in it for the fucking money or the particular outcome, you'll never see business through. Like if you said to me, I want $1 million a year and I want to be driving a Lamborghini, and that's really your only fucking thing is that you want to go to Europe every year and you're doing it for the money. Business is too hard to fucking for that.
Yeah.
Like
it's fucking really hard. Like, and I don't think everyone's cut out for it.
No, it's not for everyone either. Like, and I think the sooner you realize whether it's for you or if it's not, the better off you'll be. You know, you could go and work for a really, really established company like a tier one, climb the corporate ladder and go and earn yourself 300 grand a year, profit sharing, and live a pretty good life doing that. But if you fucking dabble in and dabble out, you're like, oh, I'm going to try business or I'm not. Like, I think that's when you can get sort of unstuck a little bit.
I mean, like, I think most tradies, you know, they start businesses. First of all, they think it's the next logical step. Like you subby for someone else or you work for someone else and they think the next logical step is to start a business. That's what I did. And I don't think people realize how hard it is and how much work it takes. Like outside of doing the work itself, like running a business takes a lot of work. And the thing that's really sad is a lot of people that start businesses, they end up working way more hours than they ever did and earning less money, and they can't get out because they're trapped. Like they get in this point where they're like, it's like the only way to get out is through bankruptcy or learn how to build a better business. But they've got themselves in this cycle. And again, like that's a huge motivation for me to post stuff to try and teach people how to run a good business because it's fucking sad. Like
I still remember the first video I come across you. The very first video. It was the one you were at the Carlisle. You're standing out on the balcony.
Oh, yeah.
And you said something along the lines of, do you want to just fucking turn that off, dude? I'm fucking about to sweat the remote's over there. It was at the Carlisle and you were standing on the balcony and you were talking about, I think it was the 200 grand ATO debt or some fucking thing. I can't remember exactly how the video went. I think it was like shot off your phone or something.
It was, yeah.
And then anyway, when I dived into that, I was like, and you were only fresh, right, on the scene, like at that point.
Yeah.
I think your fucking Instagram still had like the new little thing on it.
I think that was like video 2.
Yeah. And I seen it and I was like, dude, like, fuck. Like, and I think that's so true. Like I wanted to, the more guys that the guys that I resonate with the most are the ones that have those stories, that have the things, like the ones that just preach that they're making so much and they're doing this and they're doing that. Like, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
You know, whether you earn $2 million a year net profit or you earn $20 million a year net profit, that doesn't really it doesn't excite me.
Yeah.
I want to see like where you come from, how you got there, what you're doing along the way. Show us.
The thing is, like, everyone's going through it, like whether they say it or not, you know? Like even us, right? It's like, I've learned so much over the years. Still, the first 4 months of this year were fucking stressful for us, right? And like I'm sharing that now.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm part of a networking group and they've had a couple of billionaires come and speak in there. And, yeah, they've had these crazy $1 billion exits. And when they look back on the journey, it's all, they can connect the dots. It all made sense. But then you ask them, like, how did you feel in year 2? And they're like, oh, I fucking thought the business was going bankrupt. I thought I was going to lose my house, all this stuff. So like even people with like $1 billion exits, the whole journey, they didn't know what the fuck was coming next and they felt stressed out. So I think any business owner that's telling you that it's like all happy days and sunshine and rainbows is not telling the truth. Yeah.
And most of the guys, I think you put up a video about that. Most of them, when they have the exit, they lose the fucking thing.
Yeah.
The spark, you know what I mean? Like you exit for $150 million and you get that in your bank account. You wake up tomorrow, like, you know, if I gave you that, I reckon you'd be sweet for maybe like 3-4 months. But dude, by the sounds of it, from what I've seen anyway, you and Matt, you both just want to fucking start something else. You want to go and balls to the wall for something else to get stressed out about and fucking
I know.
keep your mind occupied and you know, and build something, because that's the exciting part.
Yeah,
is building something.
Yeah, 100%. And like, you know, was reflecting on this the other day. Because, you know, I was stressed about business and stressed about the new baby coming, whatever it was. And then I sort of like paused for a second, zoomed out on my life. And I'm like, man, I'm 36. I'm building a $100 million business with like all of my best mates. I get to work with them every single day. We travel to Sydney and travel to Melbourne and China. I've got an amazing wife, amazing daughter. We're doing renos on our house. I'm like, this is the best years of my life. Like I'm going to look back on this time when I'm like 60, 70 years old and be like, man, my 30s were fucking so cool.
Yeah, like you'd want to relive it. You'd want to go again. Like, fuck. Like how boring would it be if you're just doing it by yourself? Like when you hear about all these stories about guys that make businesses with no one, couple of guys out there that do it, which is all good and well. But to me, dude, that's fucking boring.
Yeah.
Like, you wanna be in the grind with people. You want to take people on the journey. You want to do it together in a team. That to me is way more exciting, even if it means you make 1/10 of the same profit. You know what I mean? You know, because who are you going to fucking share it with? Like,
well, there's so much of that stuff though that like I think a lot of people take for granted on the daily. Like I'm so used to working with my mates every day that it's just part of my normal life. But one day that won't be the case, you know, like whatever happens with the business one day, like I'm not going to be working with them for the rest of my life. But I know like I will look back on these days and be like, it was so cool spending all day, every day together and building something and going through these motions together. And so I'm trying to like reflect on that more these days so that, you know, I'm coming to work with from a place of gratitude and being like, yeah, fuck yeah, I get to work alongside these guys and we're actually doing this thing right now because never get to do it again. I'll never get to build something for the first time ever again. Like even if we build another business, like I've been there and done it, it's not going to be the same. Like it's not going to be like this journey with all the struggles and the pitfalls.
You're going to be a lot grayer.
Yeah.
A lot of the problems that you have, you're not going to stress about.
Yeah, I'm going to be older. We're not going to be partying in Sydney and Melbourne or whatever. You know, it's
you don't party. It's all there for work only. Yeah, that's what you say to your wives.
Yeah, cut this bit out.
But what's on the next, dude? What's next for you guys? You know what I mean? Like you guys are doing manufacturing. You've opened up another state. Like, so I know you guys are planners. You've got fucking
yeah. So obviously we've got the grand goal of 100 mil revenue. And you know
why that?
I mean, it was this like crazy pipe dream number that like we never thought would be possible. And then we sort of saw like a bit of a light at the end of the tunnel one day. We were like, I think we could actually take this business there. So we've had that goal in place for a few years now. And now I know it's going to happen. Now it's not like this crazy pipe dream. I know it's like a when and not an if. And so we're just trying to work out what's the strategy to get there. And, you know, we've expanded to Melbourne and Sydney, like organically from the ground up, started with 0 staff, hired people, taken on jobs through tendering and grown that way. And it's been a good way for us to grow because we had no capital before. But now to continue expanding across Australia, we're looking more into growing through acquisition. So buying companies that are already there on the ground, integrating them with our business to help them grow further. And then, you know, that's going to allow us to gain knowledge on the ground that we don't have.
And like, get to your goal.
Yes, get to the goal quicker. And like, I think we didn't realize, you know, how much knowledge there was to gain in Melbourne. Although like, yeah, we know how to fence, we know how to run a business. There's like the little fabricators, the little powder coaters, like the relationships that we just didn't have. And like we have them now, but it took 3 years. And so whether we want to believe it or not, that cost money, right? That was like an opportunity cost. So we either have that cost, it takes us 3 years to build up, and like the same in Sydney, or we pay the premium to buy an existing business, but we are profitable from day one. We don't have to spend 3 years building relationships and learning the who's who down there. So that's what we're sort of looking into at the moment is like, you know, there's different players in the game and we're aware of a lot of them. So like Adelaide, Perth and Darwin, like.
And Matt's obviously managing that and how that's going to look and doing the physios on it and fucking everything like that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's very early days, but it's like something that's occurred to us that's really common in business at this level. And it's kind of exciting because like, you know, we've been lucky, I guess, like going to Sydney and going to Melbourne. We've had someone relocate down there from Brisbane. And like doing that across every state in Australia is probably not that feasible, really.
It'll take all your fucking key guys too.
Yeah, exactly. And so this feels like a really good, sustainable way for us to grow. And it's going to make us grow a lot quicker as well. So we've never done it before, but we've been talking to a lot of guys who have grown through acquisition before in construction. And so they're sort of like giving us a level of comfort that like it's completely normal. This is probably what you're going to run into. This is how we did it. And so getting more comfortable with it.
Yeah. Exciting.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Dude, once again, I'm going to wrap that there. But we spoke about heaps.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like this episode was more, wasn't really about your story, but just about shit, challenges.
I think this is really good. I spoke about a lot of stuff on here that I haven't spoken about before. So it's good.
Yeah. So I hope you guys got something out of it. You know, I'll be getting Adam back in. Fuck, I'll probably have to make it once a year with the way that this guy moves. But nah, man, thank you again for coming on. And keep doing what you're doing on socials, dude. Like, I'm a fan of it. I think the rawness of it is good, and I think it's needed, dude. Because like guys out there, man, they they look at you, they would look at AH fencing and they would just look at it for what it is. They would go, oh, fuck this guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all easy now. You got it all now. Like it's all sweet now.
Yeah.
But then when you put some realness behind, you know, the real challenges of doing it and what you guys got to risk, man. Because I think that's what a lot of guys don't understand too. They only see the outcome. They don't understand what you guys actually have to put up to risk it. You know what I mean? Yeah. This is what we're doing. What the fuck are you doing? You know, you're not doing anything, but yet you're throwing shit at a guy that's putting his balls to the wall, actually having a go.
Yeah, anyone can have what we have. Yeah. You just have to go through what we've been through. So if you're willing to do that, then like go ahead.
100%, man. But thank you again, dude, for coming on. Appreciate it.
Thanks, bro.
That's it.
How good?
Sweet. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Heaps of stuff.
That was good. It's always good.